Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 113. Not an unlucky number if you're superstitious. It's just got to be 13, right, guys?
As far as I know, yes.
As long as there's something preceding it, it's not considered unlucky, right?
It has to be a Friday, too. So.
Oh, nice.
That was weird.
What was that song? That sounded like a...
That sounded like your song.
It did.
It did come out of me.
I like that. As you guys can tell, I do have some guests on the show this week. I have Paul Markle and Jared Markle with Student of the Gun. Welcome in, guys.
Thank you for having us.
That was Jared, and I'm Paul. And thank you.
If you don't know who we are, you're wrong. But you're fixing yourself now by
they're fixing themselves right now.
So.
If they don't know who you are, then they don't listen to the show because I quote you guys all the time. I think our listeners are very well versed with you guys, and you just got done recording a show, right?
Yeah, we're in the studio, and we've done 2 this morning. Actually, we did a guest spot on somebody else's show. I can say it. It's Polite Society Podcast. I don't know if you know those guys over there, but we did.
I've heard of them.
A guest spot on their show, and then we did our bonus show.
Very cool. So you guys do like one a day or something, don't you?
Well, yeah, we Monday through Thursday is the public broadcast, and everybody can listen to that. And then Friday is for the grad program members. That's the big boy, big girl time. That's where we're a family friendly rated show. You can listen to us in the car with your kids, and I won't say the F word or anything like that. But some things just need to be said, and sometimes you need to say things, and so that's why we have the bonus grad program hour, so we can just it's kind of like Steve Austin's Unchained or Unleashed, or what does he call us? He's got, Austin's got 2. He's got the family friendly rating one.
You talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Stone Cold. He's
got a wrestler.
Yeah, he's got the family friendly show, and then he's got another one called like Unchained or Unleashed, and that's where he can say. They do the disclaimer at the beginning. They're like, "This is an adult content show," so Don't
so
you're to say you were offended.
Yours is kind of that way, but you leave it first words out.
I haven't shaved my head yet. No, no. The Friday show is it's the adult show. It's for big boys and big girls.
I would as far to say that everything that Dad says needs to be said. He just can't say it all Monday through Thursday. So Friday is where he gets to.
So it's like your dump bucket show.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's for the grad program people. It's for the serious choir, the people that are there on purpose. They really want to hear it. So it's a great opportunity for Jared and I to speak directly to the serious students of the gun.
Right. So for our new listeners that are just joining us, tell them a little bit about the format of your show. Student of the Gun Radio. Everything
you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And there's lots of shows out there that format their show so that they say what they think people want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say what I think you want to hear. I say what you need to hear, and sometimes that hurts people's little feelings. They get their little feelings hurt, and then they should go ahead and listen to an NPR show if that's the case. There's too much going on in the world right now to ignore it. You're like, I don't want to talk about. There's one show that's like only positive firearms news. Dude, if you just want to play a little, if you just want to play games, go pick up a copy of Guns and Sandwiches magazine, and you can, take it in the bathroom.
Yeah, but if everybody's talking about, the same thing, then it doesn't offer variety. So
if let's be honest with you,
it's good that you guys have, a certain niche that you're in, and these other people don't try to step on that, Well, so let them do their positive, because
it's the reasonableness theory. It's like, well, if we, it's the whole trying to make everybody your friend. Oh, well, I don't want to say anything that'll be controversial because then someone might not like me. Look at America today. Is serious. Look at America today. Take a good look at your nation and tell me, is this the nation that you want to live in? Are you happy with the nation? You think, yeah, everything's rocking on, man. Our future's bright. Everything's good. Or you're like, not so much. It didn't get that way overnight. The nation didn't fall to this state You didn't wake up in the morning and like, wow, everything was great yesterday. I don't know what happened today. You know why that is? It's because we've ignored our civic duty and we only want to talk about fun stuff. Nobody wants to talk about anything that's uncomfortable. Oh, that makes me uncomfortable. I want to go play fantasy football. Yeah, your nation's not going to fix itself.
Now, that would fall into your category of what a pacifist is, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say a comfortable pacifist where then it'll fix itself. It's not my job. I can't do anything, so I'm just going to ignore it. What really hacks me off is gun owners. They're like, I'm a gun owner, but I don't like politics. I don't talk about politics. Whether you like politics or not, politics cares about you, buddy. Saying I don't like politics is not going to fix your country. And people, they feel good about it. They say that to themselves. They're like, I don't like politics.
Anything you do in life involves politics.
Yeah, that is.
No matter what you do in life, there's going to be politics. If you're in the gym working out, there's politics involved with that. You're going to have to be political somehow or some way. Somebody's using the machine that you want to use. Jared, I was trying to hit on a key for Jared there so he could chime in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know anything about the gym, do you?
Nope, I don't.
Well,
I don't do the gym.
We don't have to wait because we have our own gym.
Yeah, I see.
Well, there you go. So you guys just eliminated that completely. Just opened up your own gym.
That was the plan.
That's the way to do it.
I'm tired of waiting in line to use a treadmill, so I'm just going to buy my own and put it in a gym.
Yeah. There you go. Problem solved.
You've been hitting the gym?
Have I?
Yeah.
Actually, I have. Yeah.
Good for you.
I've been hitting it. I hit it just about every day, and I've just started. I've upped it a notch where after my normal workout routine, 3 times a week I try to do this now. I take one of those like grit classes or body pump classes.
I don't know what those
We're
are.
not really sure what you're talking about.
Okay.
It's
like a hybrid. They implement weights and cardio in with them.
Okay. Like circuit training.
Kind of like circuit training. It's just a high atmosphere, nonstop kind of class to where you're constantly moving, doing something, and then they implement the weights in with it. It's full body kind of.
Right. Is it a cult or a culture like CrossFit? A culture? Cult?
I don't think so.
Is it required to take selfies while you're participating in the exercises?
It is not required. No.
It's not as good as CrossFit then.
Yeah, I think it might be like a form of CrossFit. But
you got permission to use that trademarked word right there.
CrossFit? I don't know. That's like saying Coke. Here in the South, when you want a soda, they take your order to go. Do you want a Coke? And that could be a Mountain Dew, that could be a Mellow Yellow, that could be a Dr. Pepper, that could.
You want a Coke? Yeah. What kind of Coke do you want?
You want a Coke or Pop? In some parts of the country they call it Pop.
Yeah.
So it's just
we're from Ohio. That's what they call it.
Michigan, they call it Pop.
Michigan, they call it Pop.
Pop. Yeah. So CrossFit's one of those
waves in Massachusetts. You know what they call it?
What?
Tonic.
Conic?
Tonic.
Like tonic water?
Oh, yeah. Tonic. They call like
go to Pop Tonic. Yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah, I was in the Marines with some guys from Boston, and they were the most obnoxious puke faces you ever wanted to meet.
Tonic.
And they drink tonic. You want a tonic?
Okay. Okay.
No, thank you. Thank you for asking me.
So we'll circle back around to the purpose of your show, and you guys are not for the faint of heart because you do obviously speak your minds, and you don't skirt around issues or topics, which one we're going to talk about today on the show a little bit later. I think we'll get some good insight from the guys at Student of the Gun on that. But tell us a little bit about what you did in guns this week. Did you do anything involve firearms?
I carried one every day.
There you go.
Actually, I carried 2 every day, so there you go.
Yep, I carried.
What's your EDC?
Right now, I've got a car P45 in a crossbreed holster on me, and I've got another pistol secreted somewhere else on my body.
At an undisclosed location?
Undisclosed location, that's right.
I do the Century Arms CP9 SA in a crossbreed holster outside the waistband, and I also carry a DB380.
DB380.
DB380. I heard they have an upgraded version of that called the Glock 42.
Yeah.
This DB is a Diamondback, right?
Yeah.
And then I carry that in Tough Products, a little pocket scabbard, I guess that's what they call it.
Yep.
And of course, knives
Pocket
and
root.
flashlights and pocket lifesaver, pepper spray, wallet. Does that count as EDC?
Sure, why not?
Absolutely. Knives.
Yeah.
Everything counts. Flashlights.
Yep.
Now you guys carry medical kits too, right?
Yeah, the pocket lifesaver kit.
Is that an ankle carry, right? Kind of.
Well, I'm wearing cargo shorts right
Yeah.
now, so it's
You had a cargo.
cargo pocket.
Somebody actually emailed me about the ankle carry thing. I asked on the show a couple weeks ago if anybody manufactured that kind of like an ankle wallet kind of dealio to get in contact with me because I want to partner with them and do a pocket lifesaver carrier that you can wear on your ankle when you're wearing pants.
Cool.
So free up your pocket.
There you go. So you just put it out there for everybody. If anybody knows, anybody interested in that, get in touch with Jared at Student of the Gun. Very cool. So I know last time you guys were on the show, we were up in Camden at James Yeager's place. They were having the Century Arms thing. You guys remember that?
Yep, it was cold, wet, and muddy.
Yep.
Cold, wet, muddy is perfect time to test out guns, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And we had E.J. Owens with Legally Concealed on with you guys. And between Paul and E.J., I mean, you guys just got too philosophical for me. I mean, you were way over my head. and then those freaking radio voices that you both have too. It just drowned me out. So I just let you guys talk, and it was an awesome show.
Yeah, well, last time we saw each other, though, we were together in Nashville for the NRA annual meeting.
Well, right, yeah. But we didn't really get to do a show or anything there. But it was good to see you guys. And at that time, you had just released the Patriot Firearm Team book.
Oh,
Patriot Fire Team. I said, what did I say? Fire?
The Patriot Fire Team book we actually released. We did that one when you saw us in December. We were getting ready to release it because it released. It released in December, and then we did the paperback released in January.
Okay, so it was the paperback, maybe what we talked about.
Yeah,
probably. Patriot Fire Team.
Patriot was the new book that we just released, but that wasn't until after NRA, was it? Or did we do it before?
No. Faith in the Patriot's only been available for a month.
This year's just running together.
Yeah, so you just sent me a copy, so I got my copy of Faith in the Patriot, and let's talk a little bit about that since we're on it, and we'll get into a little more detail about it right now. What was your inspiration on that?
Well, my inspiration on that was about a year and a half ago. I did an article for The Blaze after a story came out from Columbus, Ohio, about a group of Catholic nuns that were protesting a local pawn shop trying to get a dealer's license from the ATF. You're like, wow, that's really radical, huh? A pawn shop applied to the ATF for a firearms dealer's license. Who'd have thought that would happen? That's crazy. So, yeah, but all of a sudden these like nuns got together with a bunch of other irrational women in the neighborhood and started like protesting. And they didn't want gun sales going on in the vicinity of children or gun deals. Yeah, they're like, we don't want
gun deals.
Yeah, gun deals. You mean like inside the store where people were purchasing a lawful product?
Right.
Anyway, so I wrote an article called "Do You Have to Be a Coward to Be a Christian?" and I specifically pointed out this hypocrisy. And when did these self-appointed church leaders decide that in order to be a Christian that you have to be pro-gun control or anti-gun or a pacifist? Or when did this take hold?
When did that get labeled as the Christian thing to do?
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, if you want to be a Christian, you have to be for gun control. And you can't be, And while I was working on the book, there were several other instances where that came to light. There was a bishop in New York who's like trying to get the FCC to sue Walmart to get them to stop selling evil black rifles in their stores. And I'm like, whoa, stop, bro. Who told you that was your job? And who told you that it's the stance of the church to be anti-gun? Mm-hmm. And you've got that knucklehead false prophet up there in Cook County, Illinois, that Father Flager or whatever he is. who's cozied up to Rahm Emanuel and the other leftists, and he's come out, all for gun control and blah 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 blah, but he's doing it as you can do that if you want in America, but he's doing it as a friar, or not a friar, a father or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude,
a papal figure.
Yeah, and then the Pope, then the current Pope, the current socialist Pope, comes out and makes this jackass statement about how you cannot be a gun manufacturer and a Christian at the same time. Really? Is that true? So that's the current stance of the church, is that guns are bad unless they're in the hands of the state. Yeah, there's been a lot of states that thought that was a good thing too. Mm-hmm. So I knew I had to write the book. I knew the book was important. And the book, Faith in the Patriot, A Belief Worth Fighting For, is not about trying to convert you. And they're like, are you trying to trick me into becoming a Christian? No, not. Actually, I'm not at all. The book was written for faithful people that are struggling with these things. They're struggling with these issues. Look at the church in South Carolina. That church in South Carolina that where everybody got shot up. I wanted to vomit when I saw that story.
You're talking about the Baptist church where the kid went in there? Yeah.
What nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to discuss the elephant in the room, how the head man there was a big Democrat anti-gun guy. He was all about gun control and gun restrictions and blah, 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 blah. How did that work out? I'm not being glib. I'm being serious.
Mm-hmm.
Evil exists, and hoping evil goes away and wishing it will go away and, holding hands and singing Kumbaya is not going to make evil go away.
Right.
And the fact that you think, we can just, we in South Carolina, all churches are gun-free zones. Oh, well, isn't that wonderful? Because gun-free zones just are so effective.
And we've seen in the news that's the main target for these guys are gun-free zones because these people are cowards. And I'm glad you bring that point up about your book, because there's a section where you talked about monsters are real and evil exist. And I'm just going to read a quick passage out of it if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay. So only after the conscious acceptance that monsters are indeed real and evil does exist in this world can a man or woman come to the rational conclusion that they must be prepared to deal with said evil. After the path of pacifism has successfully been debunked for what it is, selfish, cowardice people can move on to the subject of preparing to deal with evil and indeed fight it. That is well said, well written, not well read by me, but
what you're saying is get the book and read it themselves. Yeah, no.
But they need to get the book and read it. But that really hits home right there, is that people try to live in this fantasy world and think that evil can't happen to them, or it doesn't exist in their world.
If I'm only nice enough, bad people won't want to hurt me. Bad people don't care how nice you are.
Or if I ignore it enough, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Wolves hunt sheep.
Yes, I mean when some deranged psychopath walks into your building, bent on taking out their angst on the world, make sure you tell them how much of a pacifist you are. Make sure you tell them how you don't believe in guns. That'll stop them.
Oh, absolutely. They'll turn cheek and run the other way.
You believe in guns? Well, I'll go somewhere else where they do.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Human beings used to know how to defend themselves and their families, their communities. They used to have that, it was bred into them. They knew all about it. You didn't have to convince someone that they should indeed defend their own family. Mm-hmm. And in this great modern enlightened era that we live in, it's almost like, if I tell you that you should be prepared to defend your own life and that of your family and your community, that's some kind of a radical idea. But how? I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, it's like, where did that idea come from? Where's this guy from?
Aren't there police somewhere to protect me?
That's a great point you make there, is that we have been brainwashed into thinking that our civil patrol, our government is going to be there at all times when we need them. And that's just not the fact. It's not the case.
And they don't even have to be. There's been ruling after ruling after ruling where, all the way up to the Supreme Court, where they have ruled that the police, the state, has no duty to protect you as an individual. None whatsoever. There's no special duty to protect you as an individual. A police officer, and this is in
other words, that ain't their job.
No, they could literally be standing across the street and you could be beaten to death in a parking lot 100 feet away, and your family tries to sue the police department, and their defense is, we have no duty to protect you as an individual. And you say, oh, that's bullcrap, Paul. That'll never fly. It's already flown. That's already flown. The Supreme Court of New York, what was it? It was a Metro PD guys, or was it Metro or whatever, the ones that ride the subways. Mm-hmm. But on the other side of the glass, while a dude was being just hacked up with a knife, and the dude fortunately was able to subdue his attacker after being cut up like a can on a Ginsu commercial. And so he sues New York, and the New York Supreme Court holds for the city and says, no, I'm sorry that happened to you, but the police, even though they were on the other side of the glass door watching, have no special duty to protect you. So who does? You. That's it.
You. Let's get into our jack wagons of the week.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the talking lead jack wagon of the week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so now we're going to get into our jack wagons, and I know you guys have got a couple that you want to throw on the jack wagon train.
Well, you can go first.
I'm going to go first. Typically, I let my guests go first, but I think this one's not going to be any surprise to anyone, and I think you guys have mentioned that you probably talked about her a little bit too, but it's Amy Schumer. She's that chick that had that movie. I don't even know what the movie was called, but the shooting in Louisiana, the theater shooting in Louisiana.
Her movie.
Her movie happened to be the one that this guy chose to go into and do his rampant rampage. She has taken it upon herself now to go public with her stance on increased gun control and gun laws. And the guy she was standing with his last name was Schumer too. Are they related? Do you guys know?
According to the AP news story, they're cousins.
Cousins.
I have to do my due diligence real quick.
Okay.
Per Colonel Grossman, we're not supposed to call them shootings; they're massacres, because shootings that's what we do when we go to the range. That's
okay.
He called us out when we were doing an interview with him, and he said, "Please help me change the verbiage. Call it a massacre instead of a shooting."
Right. So yeah, it was a massacre, and whether he used a knife or whatever to kill people, several people.
It was a criminal event.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now when
it was murder, he committed murder. He broke the law.
It's too bad they don't have laws against murder in Louisiana.
Yeah, or he never would have done that, right?
If there was a
law would have prevented this criminal from going in and massacring these defenseless that were in this gun-free zone individuals.
Yeah, there you go.
So Amy Schumer takes it upon herself to go public with her. I guess this is a newfound. I've never heard anything about her being against firearms or for increased gun control in the past. And I think her studio probably has a lot to do with this. They see a big, huge PR opportunity for them. It's like, oh, aren't you related to this politician? So let's really capitalize on this and try to get this hack of a movie some more publicity.
Oh, absolutely. There's no coincidence that they're trying to pimp her movie right now, and they're like, oh, we need AP, and here's the deal: the current, you and I both know, the current media culture, they're so easily manipulated. Oh, they're independent journalists. No, they're a bunch of hacks. All you have to do is run in front of a microphone and say, I hate guns. We need more gun control. And MSNBC and CNN and every other ABC, CBS, whatever, every one of them will run it. Every one of them will run it. And they know this. They're not stupid. People in Hollywood, they know, hey, we'll send the star of this movie out. She'll make some speech about I hate guns and guns are bad and I'm upset and I want to cry. And every single news agency in America will run it.
Right.
They'll say, Amy Schumer, the star of the new movie, blah, 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 came out today. So they just got $1 million in free advertising.
There you go. Yeah. So what people need to be aware of, and I know our listeners are well aware of this, people that listen to our shows are well aware of this, but what we as 2A supporters have to do is we have to educate the uneducated and show them the real purpose of, why these people are coming out and saying and doing what they're doing.
And, somebody said, they're like, I watched that, Paul, and she seemed, she's
an actress.
Yeah, it's like she's paid to show to fake emotion on cue. That's what they do. They're paid pretenders. You mean she made the really sorrowful face and looked in the camera and convinced you that she was feeling bad?
She didn't convince me.
Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. The fact of the matter is she's a paid pretender. That's what they do. They pay him to pretend.
Right. And if you've ever, she's like supposed to be a comedian or something like that. I don't think she started off as an actress.
Yeah, she's a comedic actress. And here's the whole, like, your movie was playing on the screen when this happened, so now you're an expert. Like, oh, this affected me personally because my movie was playing. It could have been any movie.
It could have been.
And here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to ask you guys this. Where was Amy Schumer the day after the Chattanooga massacre? Where was Charles Schumer the day after the Chattanooga massacre? Cricket.
Right. Cricket. Exactly.
She's so concerned about this has to end. And all I can say is enough is enough. Really, Amy? So when little Johnny Jihad went on a killing spree and killed a whole bunch of our servicemen, where were you? You couldn't find a microphone that day? You couldn't find a camera that day, Amy? You're so concerned. It took
because it happened to be her movie.
Yeah. It took her a couple of weeks to find a camera. She's really been super concerned about this for a long time. But, after the Chattanooga, after little Johnny Jihad, a Muslim missionary runs out and kills a bunch of American servicemen, she just couldn't seem to find her way to a microphone. But now all of a sudden she did.
Or any of these other
gun
activists.
The day after? Where was his condemnation of radical Islam? Where was your condemnation of radical Islam, Chucky? Oh, that's right.
Wasn't there. Wasn't to be found. And that's the thing that people have to see through these people. These politicians, this was a grandstand for him as well. I mean, I don't know what he's ultimately reaching for, what his next aspiration is in the political world. Like we've said on our show a couple of shows back, critical thinking in this country has absolutely disappeared. Mm-hmm. People have lost the ability to critically think for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
You can't take face value what these people are saying. You've got to ask yourself, why would she, and just like you point out, where was she during the Chattanooga shootings? Why would she just all of a sudden come out? Well, she makes big money at these movies, and her, this could potentially hurt.
Oh, that
her pocketbook.
Her pocket. That's right. The box. Her pocketbook is directly related to the box office, and they need. And the last thing Hollywood wants is people to shy away from this movie for fear that some whack job's going to walk into a theater
because they know it's going to suck anyway. So
they need people in these theaters, and it 100% affects her pocketbook.
Yeah, and the studios, and I guarantee you, the studio was a big push behind her getting up there.
They greenlit that. She didn't just go out and do that without talking to her agent first.
Right. So Amy, go ahead, Jared.
I was say one thing that Dad brought up. I think we talked about it in our Thursday show, but I'm not sure what day it was. He talked about how the politicians are using these Hollywood actors as puppets because their approval rate now is like 13%. It's ridiculously low.
Yeah,
so they're
Charles
turning
Schumer,
to these people that are known by the public and the public trusts them, quote unquote.
Yeah, they go with a happy face because they've done polls and they know that like nationwide, like 13% of the nation rates them Congress as trustworthy. So that means 7% of the country thinks they're untrustworthy. Well, you don't get out in front of a microphone and try and push gun control when only 13% of the people want to hear from you. What you do is you go get a young, seemingly attractive, popular woman who, the great unwashed are like, oh, I know her. She's in that one movie. She was on that TV show. And so they have positive feelings when they see one of these actors. That actor's face doesn't give them the negative like they did, from a politician. They're like, I can't trust this guy. No, so what they go out and get comedians, people that make you laugh, people that make you feel good to watch their movies, and they have them read from the script. They're like, here, read this. You're good at reading scripts. Like,
and that's what she did.
Yeah, she had her script.
Clearly,
they wrote it before. They're like, here, go out and say this and act really serious.
So enough about her. We don't need to give her any more limelight, but she is on the jackwagon train. So welcome aboard, babe. All right, guys. Paul, Jared, do you each have a jackwagon, or are you guys gonna do one together?
Mutually agree on,
mutually
on this
agree
one.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about him, Louis Farrakhan. You know who that is?
Louis Farrakhan, didn't he open up some kind of a fast food restaurant or something?
Yeah, it's called.
Ham for us. Ham for everybody.
Dos Pollos Amigos or
Dos Pollos. Yeah.
Tres Amigos. Yeah, it's like Louis Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson and what's that other wild-haired dude? Yeah, I think they opened up a restaurant together.
Don King?
Like Planet, Don King, Planet Hollywood or something. I don't know. Go ahead, guys.
What was the chicken place from Breaking Bad?
I don't know. Zaxby's?
Los Pollos Hermanos. No, Los Pollos Hermanos. Yeah, Zach is convinced that there should actually be a Los Pollos Hermanos place in America. So we could really go there. No, it's fictional. No. But anyway, Louis Farrakhan got up in front of all his followers, and he told them that they should rise up and kill those who threaten them if the government won't do it for them.
Yeah. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Louis Farrakhan, isn't he a Nobel Peace Prize winner?
Yeah, got up and banged on the thing of the Nation of Islam, be representative of the religion of peace and brotherhood in America. Pounded on his podium and told him that the Quran orders them to get up and to rise up and kill those who threaten to kill their people. Now, he doesn't say who specifically, and Louis not going to go out there and do it himself. Essentially, if you have, what do we find here recently? These lone wolf attacks, and that's what they like to. Oh, that guy in Chattanooga, there's no evidence that it's like just because he was a Muslim missionary and he was down with that struggle. That doesn't mean this is Islamic terrorism. Yeah, kind of that's what it does mean. A year ago, when they had all these little Johnny Jihads flocking over to Jordan and Syria and northern Iraq, interviews about how our brothers in America are going to be attacking you, and then guess what? All these lone wolf attacks start happening, and they find out that they're little Muslim missionaries, and so your wonderful government's like, oh, these are isolated incidents. This is
they're calling them either job related violence or
it's isolated incident. It's a workplace violence. It's nothing
workplace
to do with the religion of peace and brotherhood, except for the fact that we have the tapes where these guys said, "This is our brothers are in place to attack you." And it happened in New York. It happened in Ottawa or
Canada?
In Canada twice, 2 different places in Ottawa. It happened in New York a couple of different times. Obviously, it happened in Japan.
Well, let's not forget about the bombings. The 2 brothers that did the marathon bombing.
Oh yeah, well they just traveled back over to.
But they were really nice kids, and they did well in school.
Yeah, they're nice.
And that's more important. That they were nice kids, and they
just because their dad was like a big muckety muck, and like the Chechen separatists. You mean the Chechen terrorists? Yeah, those guys. No big deal. Nothing to see there. So
it's not related. Not related at all.
No, you guys need to know this. Educate yourselves. This guy. We need to. The reason we put this guy on Thursday's radio show, and his exact quote. We played the exact quote, like 2.5 minutes from the sermon or speech or whatever it was. Is when they tell you what they're going to do, when they go out in public, they're not even hiding anymore. That's the sick thing. That's the thing that should wake you up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night, ladies and gentlemen, is they're so bold and so brazen that they're willing to go out in public and say, this is what we're going to do. And then your government, J. Jonah Johnson and all the other people that are supposed to be keeping us safe, they're like, well, we're monitoring them.
J. Jonah Jameson, I think is what you meant.
No, it's Jay Johnson is the DHS head.
Yeah.
For those of you that didn't get that. But
yeah.
When they go out and tell you, when your enemy says this is what we're going to do, you might want to freaking pay attention. Because then when it happens, you're going to be told, this is just an isolated incident. This is a one-time thing. This has nothing to do with the religion of peace and brotherhood. Did they tell us 2 months ago that this was going to happen, and then it happens, and you're saying that this is an accident? It's not an accident. And when followers of the Nation of Islam start randomly murdering people, that beautiful young woman walking down the street, a man of color walks up behind her, shoots her in the back of the head for no other reason. Oh, but you don't know about that, do you? Because that's not national news. Let's go ahead and reverse the colors. A young black man and a young black woman are walking down the street in California and Los Angeles, and a radical white man walks out from the shadows, takes a shotgun, points it at the back of her head, and kills her for no reason, just because she was black and he was white. Is that not going to be on every single nightly news? It's going to be nonstop, 24/7, nationwide. Am I right or am I wrong? You know damn well that I'm right. But you reverse it, I bet you never heard of it. I bet most of your listeners never heard about it. But it just happened.
Where did that happen?
In California. It was in Los Angeles, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. This young couple, the young, white guy, white girl walking down the street, black guy walks out, and you're like, oh, you hate black people. Shut up. If that's your takeaway from this, shut up. No, go ahead and be honest with yourself. Be gut-wrenchingly honest and say, if it were reversed, would it not have been everywhere? Nightly news, daily news, 24/7 news cycle.
How long ago did that happen?
Like within a month.
Like less than a month ago?
Yeah.
I'll have to look that one up.
Our followers shared it on Facebook. But, yeah, you don't know about it because the colors were mixed wrong.
Well, so back to Louis Farrakhan, because that's who your jackwagon is.
Yep.
So he has recently, when did he do this?
Like this weekend.
This weekend he did that.
Yeah, the news report that we got was dated 5 August. Mm-hmm. So it's been within a week. It's Student of the Gun episode 221, Enemies Among Us.
So now they've got one of the most popular, and if you want to use the word prolific, Louis Farrakhan, I don't call him a prophet or anything, but for those followers that follow the religion and then they follow him,
the death cult of Islam,
coming out, making that statement, you don't think there's going to be action taken on that? You don't think we're going to start seeing a lot more
against him or inspired by him?
Inspiration. I mean, he's an inspiration for these people.
Absolutely. In the beginning of the speech, he calls out, he wants 10,000 of his warriors. He's calling for 10,000 to rise up and kill. Yeah. Reverse this. Go ahead and let's be gut-wrenchingly honest with ourselves. Louis Farrakhan is not Louis Farrakhan. He's the Reverend, Jimmy White, and he's the head of a Methodist church in Kentucky. And he gets up in front of Farrakhan uses the word whites in there as a negative connotation in his speech. Mm-hmm. So let's say the Reverend Jimmy White or whatever of a Methodist church in Kentucky gets up and starts hammering he uses the term blacks as a pejorative, and then he tells his congregation that they need to rise up and kill those who threaten them. How far do you think it would be? How far would the FBI be away from that church when that happens?
Well, of course, you know what people bring up for Christians is they bring the Crusades up every time.
Yeah, we got to go back to
who started the Crusades.
Oh.
Who started them? You said?
Yeah, who started the Crusades?
I have no idea. King Arthur.
Why did the Crusades happen?
No, because the Muslims took Jerusalem. But anyway,
yeah, it was a rhetorical question. But
no, let's be gut-wrenchingly honest. If a white Christian minister got up in front of his flock pounded his hand and said, and used the term blacks as a pejorative, and then told all his followers that they needed to rise up and kill all those who threatened them.
But that's not going to happen.
FBI custody right now. Yeah. He would be in FBI custody right now.
Well, he would be that guy down there in what's that church? The Southbrook or what are they called?
Borough Baptist. That's not a church. It's a little idiot cult.
Well, but that's what these people would be likened to if Christian churches started to do that. But they're not going to do that, and we know they're not going to do that.
No, they're not.
It's not the Christian way.
Let's not hold our breaths waiting for the IRS to investigate Farragon. Let's not hold our breath for the FBI. But if you're a Christian minister and you said anything against the state, the very next day you're going to have an IRS audit, and they're going to pull your tax-exempt status. Folks, this is the country we live in, and you can either stick your head in the sand and say, I don't like politics, or you can pay attention. It's up to you.
So welcome to the jackwagon train, Louis Farrakhan.
Calypso Louis, that's what Rush calls him, because before he became a devout member of the death cult, he was he had played in a Calypso band.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, all right. So and we're one of those, Paul, as you know, we're one of those positive gun shows. We don't talk politics on our show, but you can't avoid it. I mean, you have to talk about it at some point in time. It always comes into play, and we address it at some point somehow. But it's great that we get people like you on that can go into more of the detail of the issues and what's going on in our culture right now. And I'm glad you shed light on us about the Louis Farrakhan stuff there.
Louis Farrakhan in 1955, using part of his middle name Eugene, went by the name of Calypso Gene in a Chicago show entitled The Calypso Follies.
I thought this guy was like from Africa.
No.
Oh, you're racist.
Zimbabwe. No, I mean, I thought he was. That's where he was born.
He was born in the Bronx, New York City, 1933.
Oh hell,
man! And he's still sucking up all the good oxygen off planet Earth.
So let's lead into our main topic today, and it just seems like more and more we're hearing about this, and I don't know. And we're going to talk about this. We're going to try to figure it out on the show here, but I don't know if it's due to the media or is this stuff becoming more and more prevalent in our day to day. Just yesterday, we got news that there was another cinema theater massacre. And now I'm going to correct it as I go, but initially I was riding down the road in my truck, and news breaks that there's a active shooter at this theater in the Antioch area of Nashville. And, these reporters trying to be first on the scene, first to break the news, they're making all these speculations. The guy's he's a mass shooter. We don't know how many people have been killed or injured. So they're making all these speculations within the first, 30 minutes to 45 minutes of what's going on. And I'm sure everybody, by the time they hear this show, they're going to know what the story is and what the truth is behind the story. But they're still investigating at this point. Supposedly, there's this mentally ill guy that, after the smoke is cleared, he had was it a airsoft gun, something along those lines?
Yeah, an airsoft toy gun that looks like a Glock or whatever.
There you go. And a hatchet. And come to find out that this guy has a history of mental illness, but he also has a couple of backpacks that he's toting around too. So the story is, so it says a Tennessee man who was shot dead by police at a Nashville area movie theater first used a hatchet to assault a family before pulling out a weapon thought to be a gun, according to 911 call released on Thursday. Gun was identified by Nashville police as, and I'm not going to say his name, who had been committed for mental health issues 4 times, 2004, 2007. In addition to the hatchet, he was carrying what turned out to be a pellet gun, as well as pepper spray that he used to douse the crowd at a showing of Mad Max Fury Road. I don't know why they feel it important to say the name of the movie.
Well, you got to get some free pimpage for the movie, man.
But I don't see why they feel the need.
Yeah, that's
like the movie's related to the shooting somehow. That's I don't understand that.
Get the main actor of the movie to come out and speak about gun.
Well, here's all you need to know. I just put in Mad Max in a search engine. Click top story: gunman killed at movie theater. Yep. Mad Max screening of Mad Max. That's how they do that. They do that for SEO value.
And that's another thing that you were talking about, how all the news agencies came out and they made all these speculations. You know why they did that? So they could relate it to the other theater shootings that have happened, or theater massacres that have happened.
Yeah.
And that way their SEO, they can reprint the stories and the SEO comes in. So when somebody types in like a movie theater, their story will come up.
Top hit.
But let's back up a minute, though. I think you hit the nail on the head, Jared, when you said, so that main actor will come out as a gun grabber activist.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
He's a foreign guy.
Whatever the new guy's name is.
I can't remember his name, but he's a good actor. I like some of the movies that he's been in. But I think you're onto something there when you said that, Jared. They're calling these movies out. They're like, look, these people are going to your movie and committing these violent acts. We want you to come out and speak out against it.
Yeah, they're putting them in a really tight situation because either they not address it and then the media will say what they want to say, or they will address it and then depending on their stance, the media will take them whichever way they want.
Exactly.
You want to hear how the media, and this is how ABC News is a bunch of scumbags, and I'm going to go ahead and relate this. Tennessee theater attack. Police have killed a gunman who opened fire at Carmike Hickory 8 in Antioch, Tennessee on an afternoon. There were no major injuries in the attack.
That's right down the road from you, isn't it?
It's like, dude.
It's just right down the road. I almost drove there, and I was like, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy. Police have killed a gunman who opened fire. No major injuries in the attack. There's at least one.
There is definitely one. There was definitely one.
And here's what they put in there. Opened fire with what? His BB gun?
His pellet gun.
Opened fire with an airsoft gun? Yeah, it says police, 29-year-old suspect unleashed pepper spray. Blah, 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 blah.
I feel bad for the people who got pepper sprayed.
Yeah, me too. But, water and a good story later on.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. You want to know why they speculate? You want to know why? Here's the picture of this thing. Yeah. Oh, I know what this is. This airsoft gun. Yeah, that's I think it might be from Crossman.
It looks like a 1911 with a attack rail on it.
Yeah, and you know what they're going? Oh, they should have had. That's why they have to have an orange tip. It's like, oh, come on now, come on.
Yeah. Well, just like he did, the tip can be broken off.
Yeah,
or did he break it off?
Crazy people don't have access to black paint. It's like, that's why they have to be sold with orange tip. So
you do have to be 18 to buy paint.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We need waiting periods on paint and pellet guns. Anyway, here's the deal.
Do you have to be 18 to buy paint?
Yeah, because you could huff it.
In some places.
I think it was at a...
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Walmart's... Yeah, let's not get into that.
Yeah. We're not talking about huffing. That's another show.
No, police said it was very realistic. They're just trying to justify killing this dude. Here's the deal. Yeah. If a guy's got a hatchet in his hand and he's swinging it at people, you don't need to say, oh, the airsoft gun looked real. The airsoft gun at that point in time is completely and totally immaterial. Can you shoot someone because they're swinging a hatchet at people? Yes. Yes, you can. You don't have to taser that guy. That is a deadly weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But we're so reasonable in America, and police officers are so scared of being painted as bad or evil or trigger happy that they had to go into great detail in saying, but this pellet gun looked really super realistic. It's like, dude, I don't care.
Yeah. And they had to put a picture of it up to show you.
A hatchet in his hand, and he was trying to attack somebody with a hatchet. You can shoot them then. It's okay. It's okay to shoot a nut job that's attacking people with a hatchet.
So here's the quote from the 911 emergency line. Said the man was wearing dingy looking clothes. This shady looking guy stood up with 2 bags and walked to the back of the theater, and he pulled out a hatchet and started attacking this family, the caller said. And then he pulled out a gun, and we all ran out of the theater. There was like 7 or 8 people in this theater. This is a Wednesday at around 1 o'clock is when this happened.
Yeah.
Why did nobody shoot this guy? Oh, because it's a gun-free zone.
I don't know what those are.
Oh. Maybe it's not. I don't know. You tell me. Is the Carmike Theater in Antioch a gun-free zone?
They should. You know what?
Most theaters
are now
to be a hatchet-free.
Yeah, hatchet-free. And that's the thing, too, is you see these signs that have the gun and the slash, no firearms. What about, if they're going to do that, why not no weapons?
Oh, no.
Why are they just particularly doing guns?
Went crazy. Our local chief here printed up signs that had a picture of an AK-40. It has a picture of an AK-47, a Bowie knife, a pistol of some sort, and a hand grenade.
With a slash to it?
Joking. Yeah, there's the red no symbol, and in that no symbol is an AK, a hand grenade, a pistol, and like a big giant Bowie knife.
Well, I carry hand grenades every day.
Because somebody wanting to kill someone, if they see the no guns, they're going, oh, well, I can't carry a gun, but I can take a grenade because there's not a grenade with a slash through it.
That's right. I was going to bring this grenade in here.
So they're saying I can come in here and kill people with a grenade, but I can't kill them with a gun. It's perfectly acceptable to kill them with a grenade.
Not a picture of a hammer or a ball bat. So, I suppose if you wanted to go in with a ball bat or a hammer.
There's not a picture of a hatchet either.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's retarded. And here's people are like, wow, we know it's ridiculous, Paul. We know it's stupid. Yeah, you do? Then call these people out on it. Embarrass them. Make them feel stupid. Well, that's not nice. Then they might not like me. They're not your friend already. The idiot that put up the no gun sign, he's not your friend.
He's not your friend. He doesn't have your best interest in mind.
He doesn't have your best interest at heart. He's a moron.
To wrap up this story with the guy in Nashville, like you said, he was first confronted by a patrol officer, and supposedly they exchanged fire, and I don't see how they could exchange fire. He shot a pellet, and then the guy shot his gun at him.
Here's the weird thing. This story is weird, and we need to.
Yeah. So I've heard a little background from undisclosed source, but I've been told that this guy was out. It's like a strip mall area where this mall or this movie theater is, and there's like other retail stores around, like phone companies and whatnot. So he was at I heard that he was at one of these phone companies, and either they called the police or there was a policeman there that confronted him because obviously he looked shady. He's carrying around 2 backpacks and whatnot. I don't know.
Douchebag.
He might have been, causing a scene. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but this is just what, again, this is hearsay, that he was confronted by this police officer and he ducked into the movie theater, and the police officer, went in after him, and that's when, all this went down. And then the SWAT had a time, obviously, to react and get there. But after, and it doesn't say in between when he confronted him and when SWAT got there, so I don't know how long that took. But SWAT went in and they exchanged fire again, and he ran out the back. And when he ran out the back, that's when he was killed. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, this whole thing's kind of hinky. But what I'll tell you is this: if you, I'm sure that your audience is there, or at least pretty close to being there with us. But the fact of the matter is, if you think that it's somebody else's responsibility to keep you safe, you're delusional. Mm-hmm. Like, well, you don't understand, Paul. I can't go in there. I can't go here. We just actually had 2 stories of people shooting themselves through the leg with their own guns because they were disarming themselves so they could go into a gun-free zone.
Are you serious?
Yes. We were focusing on tourniquets and how first responders had tourniquets and saved these people's lives. But the reason that they had bullets in them through their femoral arteries was because they were in their cars. They pulled up to an area and they're like, oh, there's a sign on the door. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my gun out of its holster and I'm going to stash it somewhere in my car. And so while they're in their car, fiddle farting around with their guns, they shoot.
Negligently discharged and shoot themselves.
It was 2 different incidents, 2 different cities, and both of these people shot themselves through their legs. And, you have this great fat artery in the middle of your leg. And if you put a bullet through that thing, you're going to die really soon.
You'll bleed out, yeah.
And the only reason that these 2 individuals are still alive is because the first responders that showed up and found them had tourniquets. And they're like, oh, crap, you're going to die if I don't put this on you. And so they saved their lives by doing that.
Well, in all reality, those people don't need to be carrying guns anyway.
Well,
they should have disarmed before they left their house.
You know why they did that? Because they want to be good people. Because they want to be reasonable people. Because they
law-abiding citizens.
Law-abiding. And there's a plastic sign on that door that says, I can't. So what I'll do is I'm going to purposely disarm myself because I don't want to violate the sign.
No, that's not against the law.
And you say, well, what am I supposed to do, Paul? I don't know.
It's just against that store's policy. Yeah. We need to differentiate that, too. It's not against the law, right?
No, well, it depends on where you are.
Here,
unless it's a federal building or something.
Yeah, well, like here in Mississippi, it's a civil matter. They can ask you to leave, and if you refuse to leave, then you can be charged with trespass. But I'm like, why would
Same here?
It's
like, sure, peace out. I'm going to go spend my money somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's
or why would you open carry and for them to know you're carrying anyway?
Oh, that's another hill of beans. But these people disarming themselves and then having NDs in their cars because they're fiddling around with their guns when instead of fiddling with their gun, they should just put it on, leave it alone, cover it up, and go on about their business. You're like, but Paul, if I go into that store, that building, that gas station, and they find out that I have a gun, blah, 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 how are they going to find out?
Well, the only way they're going to find out is if you tell them.
If you tell them, or if you really, really need it because some bad person is there to do bad things.
Exactly. Or if there's an active massacre there.
So why are you – this is what I'll ask people. Like, if you're willing to play this arm, disarm game all day long, you take the gun off, put it back on, take it out, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. I've known dudes that did this, why are you carrying that gun? What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing this? Because are you really, really, really carrying it because you think it's a life-saving tool? Or are you doing it just because it seems like the cool thing to do? Because if you really think that gun is a life-saving tool, that it's important enough to have on your body to stop bad people from hurting you and your family, why do you keep taking it off every 10 minutes?
And another question that they've got to ask themselves, Paul, is why am I carrying this gun if I've not ever been trained how to use it?
Well, dude,
most people don't care.
But that's another thing. Why are you carrying that gun if you want to protect yourself, if you want to protect family and others, if you've not been trained?
No, Marty. My dad taught me how to shoot. My grandpa taught me how to shoot when I was 10. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I don't need you to tell me.
I know how to pull a trigger. What do I need?
Right. Exactly. And that is a great fact to fight the myth right there. I think we've done that one in the past.
The carrying the gun and shooting the gun, people getting really wrapped around the axle on mechanics and marksmanship. It's not about marksmanship. It's about fighting. Can you fight with a gun in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I go to the range and I shoot. You stand at the range. No one's trying to hurt you. There's no stress. You put a piece of paper out 10 yards in front of you, and you slowly shoot that paper.
You got a heartbeat of 10 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Amateurs focus on hardware. Professionals focus on software.
Yeah. That is not, why my dad, you shooting tin cans off a stump with your grandpa when you're 12 is not fighting with a gun.
Mm-mm. That doesn't prepare you for a situation.
Fight. Yeah.
Right. And that's what we stress on this show is training, responsibility.
Oh, it's hard, though. It's easier to just play fantasy.
But we got to keep saying it. We got to keep putting it out there. We got to keep reminding people that just because you go get your carry permit doesn't automatically make you an expert. or anywhere near it. And it doesn't give you the ability to be able to know what to do, how to perform in those stressful situations.
You want me to give your audience a lanyap? I'm going to give you suckers a lanyap.
I love. There's a restaurant called the Louisiana Lanyap that I love to go to. But yes,
I'm about to give you a lanyap. We challenged our listeners at Student of the Gun to do what we call a cell phone challenge. You're like, what's a cell phone challenge? Everybody loves their phones, right? You got a Galaxy Note 4, you got an iPhone 5, or whatever. Everybody loves their phones. And you're carrying a gun, are you? Yeah, I'm carrying a gun. I'm a gunfighter. Okay, cool. How confident are you in your skills? I'm pretty confident. All right. Take your phone, go to the range, take your phone, stick it in a plastic sandwich baggie. Reach into your range bag, grab your stapler, or your staple gun, which you have because you're a shooter. And I want you to staple that bag with your phone in it 8 inches to the right or left, I don't care, of the head of a silhouette target. Go ahead and do it. Now turn around, walk 5 yards away. Not even 5, 3. Walk 3 yards away. And I want you to put 1 magazine worth of ammo into the head of that target. Go. I'm not going to do that. I might hit my phone. If you don't have enough confidence in your
that's great
phone, what are you going to do when there's a psycho with a hatchet and he's swinging it at your wife's face? And the only way to stop him from doing that is to put bullets into him. What are you going to do? Hang on. Everyone stop.
That's a great challenge. I like that.
Everybody stop moving.
Yeah.
I need to get into a proper Weaver stance, take some deep breaths. I'm going to do some practice draws first. Let me go ahead and check my sights. Hang on. I got a chamber around because I don't ever chamber around. All right. I'm ready now.
And basically what we had people do for that is turn on your camera.
Oh, yeah.
Turn on your camera so you film yourself and then post the video up to social media and hashtag it Student for Life.
Yep. Cell phone challenge.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So let's throw that out there right now to our lead heads. The cell phone challenge, the Student of the Gun cell phone challenge. I want to see post on our Facebook page of you guys trying that out. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's get into our this is a perfect segue for our facts to fight the myth. And I know you guys have come prepared with a couple. Our facts to fight the myth are sponsored by the Sonoran Desert Institute and Zeke Stout. You guys know Zeke. You remember Zeke?
Never
Paul?
Never heard of it.
Hodor.
My partner in crime, Zeke Stout, the Squatch, they used to call him. He's like 20 feet tall. Is he what?
Is he doing time now, or what is it?
He's doing time. Well, he's doing time with the Sonoran Desert Institute. And they are graciously hosting my segment, Facts to Fight the Myths. And Zeke loves to introduce this segment for us. So, Zeke, take it away.
SDI is proud to present the Talking Lead Facts to Fight the Myths.
All right, so Hodor, as Jared calls him, has led us into our Facts to Fight the Myth segment. So, guys, tell us what you've got for our myth and the facts you've got to back it up.
Well, this plays into the Lafayette Theater shooting. The first people to show up at the Lafayette Theater shooting, the first officers to show up, were equipped with traumatic medical gear. Not huge orange backpacks that you see your EMTs and paramedics, but something that you could actually carry on you, like a tourniquet, bandage, that kind of a thing that they could put on their belts and carry with them. Mm-hmm. And they immediately were able to start treating the victims, and which is obviously critically important in saving lives, is not waiting 15 minutes for the ambulance to clear the scene and come in. If you just let a guy lay on the floor for 15 minutes bleeding, if it's a serious bleed, he's going to be dead. So when we talk about getting traumatic medical training, we not all the time, but we still get this from gun people, not from the average weak, spineless citizen, but from people that carry guns. Like, oh, don't you think that's best left to professionals? And I want to say, really, is that really your opinion? Is that your final answer? If you won't take medical training and you won't carry medical gear because you think that's, quote, best left to the professionals, why are you carrying a gun? Because Nanny Bloomberg and, his favorite call girl and Amy Schumer and Chucky Schumer, they all think that carrying guns is something that only professionals should do, and that you, as a peasant, as a plebe, should not be doing that. So before you jump on board with I think that medical stuff is best left to the professionals. That's the exact same argument that the anti-gunner people use about concealed carry. So you might want to be careful whose ideas you glom onto there.
Good point. Jared, do you have one?
Mine was just going in with that. Obviously at the theater shooting they used, or the theater massacre, they used the pocket kit, or the what do they call it? IFAKs.
Yeah,
it was
whatever
an
they
IFAK
had
to save the lives.
It was a small kit that the officers had just recently been issued.
Yeah, and at the same time, was it in New York where the officer saved the lady's life that was in the middle of the street where he
bleeding? And
he
they had
used a
improvised,
makeshift, an improvised tourniquet where he found
he took a guy's belt.
Yeah, he took a guy's belt, and then he used a stick or something, is what he called it.
Well, that's the old school Boy Scout way right there.
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't work. I don't mean to correct.
It didn't work.
No, what happened
the belt didn't work.
They tried
That's
to
right.
use a T-shirt and like a
Yeah.
stick, and
Yeah.
that didn't work. So they grabbed a dude's belt, and they looped it through. And essentially, one of the officers just grabbed a hold of the loose end of the belt and pulled
Real
like
tight,
a crazy person, and just kept pulling and pulling and pulling as hard as he could to shut the artery off. And the doctor said that if they wouldn't have done that, she would have died. But if it's cool to use,
why not have a kit?
Why not
on
just
you?
have it on you?
Yeah.
I mean, rather than like, hey, you're bleeding to death, I'm going to go find a stick. I'll be right back.
Well, that's another level that, the sheepdogs have to ask themselves if they want to take it up another level and take that kind of responsibility onto themselves as well. What are you going to do if you get shot and you don't have, anything?
And it's not
for your own protection, you need to have a kit on you, a med kit on you.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, that's right. Good guys don't ever bleed.
Good guys don't.
People get all wound up, or we get wrapped around the axle over the shootings and the combat and stuff. But more people die in car crashes every day than die in shootings in America. It's way more likely that you're going to be involved in a high-speed car crash than it is you're going to be involved in a shooting. But
or you're going to walk upon a car crash accident where there's people injured. Yeah.
How many times have you been on the road and you're like, oh, crap, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Car flips over. Car crashes into another car,
I find myself when I'm driving down the road, if I get behind somebody that's like swerving or they're driving like they're drunk or something, I'm like, please don't crash because then I'll have to stop and it's just going to take all that.
Yeah.
I back up so I can either pass them and get far away from them, or I back way up because I don't want to be involved in what they're about to be involved in.
Or just get off the exit. So thanks to SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute, for sponsoring that segment of Fact to Fight to Myth. SDI's 32-semester credit-hour certificate program in gunsmithing and 60-credit-hour Associate of Science in Firearms Technology degree program can work hand-in-hand and are the most complete training programs of their kind. SDI strives to give you the best quantity and quality of professional gunsmithing information and tools. These programs are perfect for students interested in careers in the firearms industry or for those who are interested in owning their own gunsmithing business. Our programs are delivered via distance learning, which allows our students to maintain full-time jobs, families, military service, and more while working towards their degree or certificate. The Sonoran Desert Institute mission is adding value to our students' lives by providing innovative, relevant, and applicable workplace-driven education through distance-delivered instructions. Visit them at sdi.edu. All right, let's get into our trivia now. So last week's trivia question was from Aaron Cowan at Sage Dynamics, and it was a video. It's based on a video that he did on the Trigicon 3x9 AccuPower. And his question was, who makes the t-shirt that he's wearing in the video? And we had, and this is the week that I'm starting the new How I Pick the Winner. So it's not who gets in first on it. It's I'm taking all the people at the time that I record the show. And for those who don't know, I typically record on Wednesdays or Thursdays. So that'll help you engaging when you listen to the show and when you need to send your answers in. And the winner out of all those people randomly picked is Clint Long. Clint, congratulations on winning the handgun class So you get a free handgun class from Aaron down at Sage Dynamics. So get in touch with me via email, talkingled@gmail.com, to get me your information, and we'll get you hooked up with that free handgun class. And oh, by the way, the answer to the question was the Art of Manliness. That is who made his T-shirt, Aaron's T-shirt. So congratulations. And this week, our guests, Student of the Gun, Paul and Jared, have a trivia question that they're going to pose, and they're going to put up a cool prize as well. Guys, what's your trivia question?
Hey, we've got our trivia question coming in from our Pocket Lifesaver video, and it's in several places, but you can find it on sotgu.com. It's in the Pocket Lifesaver product. But the question that I'm going to ask you guys is, what was the last question Professor Paul asked the crash victim?
So the video is, say the video name again.
Video name is Pocket Lifesaver Video. It's on our Full 30 account. It's on the sotgu.com. You go to either the Beyond the Band-Aid class or the Pocket Lifesaver product, and the video is embedded on those pages.
Okay. And then the question is, what is the last question that Professor Paul asked the victim?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The crash victim. Okay. There you go, leadheads. So you answer that correctly. You also have to go to their Facebook page and like their Facebook page if you haven't done that already, and you have to subscribe to their YouTube. You guys have a YouTube channel too, right?
We actually have two of them, but our Facebook page is facebook.com/Student of the Gun, and the YouTube channel, our main one, is Student of the Gun TV.
Student of the Gun TV. And then if you sign up for their radio show, for their bonus material, is that on Fridays that you post that?
Yep, for every Friday.
Okay. You can subscribe, and for a nominal fee, you get the bonus material that Paul was talking about earlier in the show, that you don't get to hear during their weekly shows.
The winner of that is going to get a Faith in the Patriot book. Dad just got done writing that. We just released it, and it's important.
Which is the one I'm reading right now, Faith in the Patriot, A Belief Worth Fighting For, Paul G. Markle. You know, I got a signed copy here, and I'm a little disappointed, man.
You wanted it?
I wanted like a little heart, and it just got, Marty.
Smiley faces. You wanted
keep
like
spinning the faith. Paul Markle, whatever. I wanted you to say Buck Owens.
It was Buck Daniels.
Buck Daniels. I can't remember.
Already a Buck Owens.
He hashtags it Buck Owens.
No, Buck Daniels.
I'm saying that he hashtags things Buck Owens.
Who does?
Marty.
I do.
You don't even know your own name.
I don't even know my own nickname, Dad.
You don't even know your own nickname. I gave that to you at SHOT 2013.
I'm writing it down right now. Daniels.
Buck Daniels. It was actually SHOT 2014, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
I've done like Buck Naked, Buck Owens. All right, so there you go, guys. Send your answers into talkingled@gmail.com, or you can go to Facebook. Do not send me a message on Instagram because I cannot get messages on Instagram. I still have a damn Windows phone, and for some reason, the app on there doesn't allow me to get messages. So do not try to contact me through Instagram, Facebook, or Gmail. Works great.
You need to have you and Zachary need to have a conversation.
Yeah, he's got one of those Windows phones.
Zachary's has a Windows phone too.
1980 called. They want their cell phone back.
He's cursing it. It's not a 1980.
I curse it every day, but I refuse to conform to Apple. All right, I use a Windows computer, and I use a Windows phone. So hate me if you must, admire me if you will. All right, guys, so we're getting close to wrapping up another episode of Talking Lead, but I want to find out first what you guys got coming up. Paul, I know you are extremely busy. You're always into something. What's on the horizon?
I'm going to write another book.
I'm going to write another book.
I'm currently working on the Patriot Fire Team manual, which is going to have a lot of like super specific stuff about gear and tactics and all that jazz. The first book kind of laid the foundation of the why. The Patriot Fire Team book laid the foundation of the why and what for, and getting a team together.
How to get your mind right.
Yeah, how to get your mind right. And then we did the Faith in the Patriot book, which was kind of a departure. And so the next one's going to be the Patriot Fire Team manual. And That's what people seem to think that they were going to be getting. You know, everybody wants what they think they want, not what they need to have.
Yeah.
You know what I want to say is, look, I've been teaching professionally for going on 30 years now. I know what I'm doing. Just calm down and be a good student.
Just read my book.
Calm down, be a good student.
I'm in the process of
for a living
of like doing my spring cleaning, so to speak, with my gear. And I've got stuff just laid out all over my house. I don't even know what all I've got. So I'm in the process of going through and organizing and getting stuff together, just taking inventory basically of everything that I've got, you know, with my gear, my ammo, my firearms, magazines, stuff like that, kit. I'm also going to be redoing my EDC bags because it's been, over a year since I've got in there. So I don't know what I'm out of or, what I need to improve or upgrade. So is that kind of stuff that you're going to get into as part of the...
With 2Ds for a double dose of pimping?
Yeah. No, the basic, I was in the Marine Corps infantry, and a lot of the stuff that the teams, I'll give you a great example. Let's say that you get some of your friends together and you decide that, that you're going to support each other. If my family needs help, you'll help my family. If yours needs help, I'll help your family. Well, then you end up with a situation like a Baltimore, like a Ferguson, like a St. Louis, like a whatever, where there is a man-made disaster. Or let's say that you're like we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of Katrina now. You're in a natural disaster that is bad and then is made even worse by man, by a bunch of animals. What are you going to do? How are you going to react? Are you just going to like grab a gun and go walk around? You need more than just a rifle. You need more than just a handgun. There's way more to it than just having a gun and standing around. Yeah, you can do that for a short amount of time, but are you going to do that for a week? Are you going to do that for 72 hours? What are you going to do? And how are you going to accomplish that mission? And what is your mission? Those are the things that we're going to be talking about. Basics that everybody should have. And when, there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of gear you can buy. I mean, holy crap, you go to any number of websites and you could spend $10,000 and still not have everything you think you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
But we're going to get down to the must-haves and the why. And I've worn a lot of gear in my time. I've spent a lot of time sweating, laying on the ground, sleeping on the ground, standing around in the rain. So I know a lot of what works and what seems to work but really doesn't. So I'm going to put a lot of personal experience into the book. So
kind of a prep mindset.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Glenn Tate's book.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Glenn Tate?
Yeah, he's going to be coming on the radio in the near future.
Okay. So he sent me one of his books of the 299 Days series, the preparation, the first one in the series. I haven't had a chance to start that yet, but that's I'm going to start reading his books as well. So that Patriot Manual would come in handy, I would think, for this. I mean, this is fiction, right?
299 days.
299 days is. My books aren't.
Right. No, yours aren't. I understand that.
Just a fiction book?
I could do anything I want. I'm an American.
He can do a fiction, nonfiction book all in one.
I actually have been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it for a while.
I think you should do it, man.
I think you should stop thinking about it and do it.
I think you should shut up and do it.
Yeah, that's right. I don't got anything else to do.
I don't got anything else.
So the Patriot Firearm Team Manual is coming out soon. We got an ETA on that, or
no? Not even close to an ETA.
Too far out to give a date on it.
Yeah, people need to buy and read the first two books first, and then.
What about events, appearances, things like that? You got anything coming up for that?
I'm going to be live at Student of the Gun University tomorrow from 9 to 5.
9 to 5, and where can they?
At Student of the Gun University.com? No, that's at our shop.
Oh, you're not. You don't film that?
No. Oh, I'm just messing.
Fuck.
I'm going to be working out in the gym tomorrow from 3 to 5.
So if anybody wants to come work out with you,
that's right.
Student of the Gun University and lift some tires. I saw. Is that part of your workout routine, or the tires, or is that Jared's? I'm getting to you, Jared. We're going to talk about your MMA.
No, we have a sledgehammer that we like to abuse the tires with.
You hit it with the sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Cool. Now you've looked like you've really trimmed up since the last time I saw you in that photo.
No homo, but yeah, you like that? You like that picture there?
Yeah, man. I mean, you're rocking it, man.
Well, no,
Proud.
You're
lean, mean.
I started SWAT fueling really heavy about a year ago to try and get over the hump. I was kind of stuck. You know, I was exercising, trying to lose weight, and I had plateaued, and I was like kind of stuck. And I started taking the SWAT fuel multivitamins and the fat burner and the pre-workout, and so I dropped about 30. I dropped 30 pounds, and then I started lifting up heavy stuff. So I put about 5 pounds on after I dropped, but now I can lift heavier stuff.
Well, no offense, but that's why I sent a double XL.
No, that was for Zach.
Yeah. So I was in the supplement store yesterday, and I texted Jared because I was trying to get a new pre-workout, and he didn't respond to me until after I already made my purchase. And I get in the car right as I'm pulling out. He responds, SWAT fuel. And I've never heard of SWAT fuel. What's this SWAT fuel? Is that just a brand name? Is that what that is?
It's
Are you kidding?
I guess he's never heard of it. Special Weapons and Tactics for the Body is it was developed by our friend Dan Olesnicki. He's a doctor, and he developed it specifically with the shooter in mind. Basically, what he did with the SWAT fuel, he's got different supplements. There's 9mm plus P, and then obviously a multivitamin. That's the foundation of every nutritional plan. But
so he names his products after. Oh, cool.
He's got a 45 ACP coming out. I think that's a hydration thing, but that's going to be in the future. But anyway, so I use Dad and I both use the 9mm and the plus P when we work out. And it's basically what Dan did is you know what pharmacokinetics is? It's the release of energy over time. So what he sat down and he said, okay, this 5-hour energy right here, it's liquid, so it dumps into your system fast. You get the jitters and then you get a hard crash. So what Dan did is he developed pills that specifically release the energy over time.
Time released. Yeah.
Instead of getting all the energy immediately and getting the jitters and then crashing later, it releases over a period of, from what I've done, between 5 and 8 hours, depending on what you do. And then you have no jitters, you have no crash, and it just works. And it helps you mentally focus as well.
Okay. Do they sell that in your typical nutrition store, or do I have to order that online?
Go to Amazon and get it. You can go to swatfuel.com and you can check out more stuff from there.
Okay. Because I'm like Paul. I'm at a plateau right now.
Yeah.
You know, where I can't get over. I'm trying to get another growth spurt.
Are you trying to get bigger, or are you trying to lose weight?
Well, I'm doing a combination of both, where I'm leaning down, but I want to bulk up certain areas.
Okay.
So are you using this SWAT fuel in your MMA training, Jared?
Yeah. Yep. I use it 3 to 5 times a week. I don't use it every day.
Okay. And, you know, that's an announcement I want to make, is that Talking Lead is an official sponsor of the Jared Markle MMA team. Yay! Along with, is it Tactical Response and who else?
We got Tactical Response, Talking Lead, SOE, Tactical Gear, Special Operations Equipment, obviously Student of the Gun, Think On Productions, Fight University, Legally Concealed also.
Awesome. So EJ's up in there with us too. Good deal. How did you get started in the MMA, Jared?
Oh man, Dad put me in wrestling when I was kindergarten or something. Kindergarten.
Yeah.
So
and Paul, you used to be a bodybuilder, right? I didn't know that. I read that somewhere.
Paul Markle.
Who was?
Did you used to be a bodybuilder?
I don't know where you read that. I've never been a bodybuilder.
Are you lying to me? I read that.
No, I never.
There's a different Paul Markle that's a doctor or something.
Wait a minute.
There's a Paul Markle that's a dentist, but I don't think he's a bodybuilder.
There's no way.
No.
Yes. Oh, bodyguard. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. It's almost the same thing.
Derp.
It's close. Yeah. Sorry, Jared. So Paul has been the catalyst behind this.
Yeah. Both my parents, obviously my mom too. I don't know who made the decision. I'm assuming it was Dad. Yeah.
But they both obviously supported you in the wrestling.
They both supported me like a family should support you. through all of my fitness activities.
And now you are. How long have you been doing the MMA?
Since 2008. I moved out. Actually, I'll tell you how I got into actual mixed martial arts.
Okay.
I wrestled from kindergarten probably till 10th grade or whatever, something like that. And then I moved into jiu-jitsu, and I trained with a guy named John Saylor up in Ohio. And how did you get you got introduced to John through Sonny, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dad went over to, I might have been with him, went over to a seminar that Sonny Pazikas was doing at our friend John Saylor's house. And so we met John, and John was an Olympic judo coach, and he was a judo champion. So I started, and he founded this thing called Shingatai Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
It's Japanese. If you want to, you can
say it again.
Japanese Shingatai, which is mind, body, spirit.
Shingatai
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep. And Japanese form of jiu-jitsu. So I started doing that when I was 15 or 16. And then I was 18 when we moved down to Biloxi. And I don't know if Mom and Dad know this yet or not, but when we first decided, Dad moved down to Biloxi for the military contract to teach the little Navy guys. And he found a local gym down here called Dixon's Dungeon. And I came down on spring break, and he took me there, and I liked it. I really liked it a lot. And basically, Dixon, I talked to him, the head coach there, and he said that if I started training every day, he could get me in an MMA fight within 6 months. So I made that decision because what I was planning on doing was staying up in Ohio and training under John Saylor.
Mm-hmm.
And but I didn't. I moved down for the mixed martial arts experience, and so it's history now. And now we actually, the head coach John Dixon and I and Dad are partnered, and we have Dixon's Dungeon is now in our home here at the Student Gun University and Fight University.
Okay, so that's part of your private gym.
Yep.
Man, I'd love to come down there and check your gym out sometime. It sounds like a pretty cool place.
You should do that.
Maybe we could. You could show me some jiu-jitsu moves. And do you do the is it Mai Tai?
Muay Thai.
The Mai Tai drink.
Mai Tai is what you drink.
I do Mai Tais.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. After your training, do you do Mai Tais? So it's the Muay Thai. You're into that, and the Sambo, is it?
Sambo, yeah, it's Russian. Sambo is Russian.
Did Sonny teach you that?
Nope. Dixon taught me that. Dixon actually spent time in Russia learning Sambo over there.
Have you had any training from Pazikas?
Just that one seminar.
Just the one seminar, which was Sistema, Russian Sistema.
I bet that was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very intense, extremely intense.
So how many fights do you have under your belt right now?
I've got 6 total. 5?
6.
6 total.
6 total?
3 pro, 3 amateur.
Okay, so you are pro status now.
Yes, sir.
And you've got several coming out. I know you've got one into this month, right?
Yep, I've got August 22nd, September 12th is a Sancho match, which is basically Muay Thai with judo throws. You can punch and kick and elbow and knee and take down. And then November, I've got one. I don't have a contract for that yet, but it's going to be in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then December is a Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi. Okay.
I don't have a contract for that either yet, but we're working stuff out.
Well, after you win this one here at the end of the month, then those contracts will get solidified, I'm sure.
And that's really, I've been out. I did I did all 6 of my MMA fights from 2008 to 2010.
Yeah.
Then I had shoulder surgery. And so I've took a lot of time off recovering.
Right.
Getting back into training.
Rehabbing, yeah.
And basically,
so are you coming off the shoulder surgery now? Is this your first time back since the shoulder surgery?
Yeah, this is my first time back in the cage as a professional.
Okay. And what organization are you fighting under? Is there a certain organization that you're?
Dixon's Dungeon. That's the gym. Or you mean?
Well, I mean, like
World Fighting Championships, WFC is this promotion is who I'm fighting under.
Okay, WFC.
Yep, WFC.
Gotcha. Okay. For an MMA fighter, how many fights do they do a year? What's typical for an MMA fighter?
Depends on what you want to do. If you're conditioned and you don't take too much damage in a fight, then one every month. But usually I would probably do one quarterly.
Okay.
I'm getting back into it. I'm trying to get my reputation back now. So I need to do what I'm doing is I'm mixing in with I'm doing mixed martial arts fights. I'm going to be doing the Sancho fights. I'm going to put my toe into boxing and see how I do in there.
Okay. So you're doing some things outside of the MMA world in addition to stay honed.
I told Coach Dixon, I said, I trust your judgment. Whatever you put me in, I'm going to do it. Boxing, Muay Thai, Sancho.
So he's your Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. If you can fight, you can fight. It doesn't matter what it is.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to that. So the one at the end of the month is where's it at?
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
It's in Baton Rouge. Ooh, I don't know if I'll be able to make Baton Rouge. We've got the I think that's when the 3-gun competition is going on. Also, the Brownells in Kentucky.
Yeah, it is. It's that week.
Okay.
That's where
Zach's going to be.
Yeah, Zach Hall.
Because competitions are more important than friends.
Oh, there you go, Dad. Throw your trump card out there. Now, Atlanta, that's your next one, right?
Yeah, November.
I don't see any reason why I can't make that one. So I definitely will come down to Atlanta. But cool. Do you have a separate MMA Facebook website persona?
Yeah, mine is facebook.com/PT as in personal trainer Jared, Jarrad. For all of you guys that are listening right now, and you have issues with, or not issues, but if you have trouble, if you have issues, get a tissue. But if you have trouble with your gains in the gym, don't focus on taking supplements. Focus on changing your regimen. Focus on what you need to change with your body, because you can, if you're focused on what you need to, what did I said before? Amateurs focus on, or hardware. Focus on software. So software being what's in your brain. Focus on it, and what you do, it has to be specific to your body. Mm-hmm. But stop focusing on what can make you work out harder. Your mind makes you work out harder.
And this just helps me go.
There you go. That helps you start.
That just gets me started, yeah. Because a lot of times I'm just like, I got no motivation when I get in the gym.
Oh, man.
And I just need a little something to just poof. But you're right. I mean, for the hump that I'm on right now, there's not a supplement that's going to get me over that. I've got to change my routine, and I've got to work harder. I've got to do something different as far as my lifting goes.
Yep.
Jared's about to blow your mind,
dude.
He's going to drop one on you like a grenade.
All right, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is from one of my friends. Motivation is the excuse weak men claim for choosing the easy wrong over the hard right. As a matter of honor, to do your best is required regardless of your motivation or any other emotions. A balanced life is required for a man to be great at anything. Oftentimes that I have had insufficient motivation causing repeated failure, I also noticed that my life was imbalanced. I was focused on one thing. That is what I was failing at. I suggest that whatever life category you're lacking motivation in, that you examine that category for the parts you enjoy. If it is fitness, write down all the parts of fitness you enjoy. Take a month or 3 and only do those exercises you enjoy. Nothing else. During that time, focus on other parts of life that give you inner peace and strength. You need someone in your life that lifts you up, points out your strengths, compliments your successes, etc. If you don't have that relative, friend, or mentor, then you really need to find that person. They will put you out of the emotional pits and make you responsible to reach your goals.
If you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people.
Yep. And I was having a really big problem with an inner battle with myself, of my motivation. Why wasn't I motivated to do some things? And he sent me that. And he's like, that's an excuse that weak people use to do nothing instead of do something. And I was like, well, shit, I'm not weak. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this gym, and I'm going to work out now.
Just do it.
And it took somebody just saying that to me, like, because I knew it in my head. But pointing out,
we all have to be reminded occasionally. You know, we lose sight, we lose focus, and it's not a bad thing for somebody to remind us from time to time.
When you don't, this is what I tell people, like, when you don't feel like working out, that is absolutely when you need to.
Exactly.
Because anybody can make excuses. Anybody can say, you know, I'm not really feeling like it today. I'm just going to go take a nap. I'm going to go watch TV. When you don't feel like it, that is when you have to force yourself to do it. It's called mental discipline.
Yeah. When you give into your complacency, then you will become complacent.
Oh yeah, and then it's easy, and you just do that. And I tell you what, really, seriously, listen to my words. The next time you think, you plan, especially when you plan on doing it in the morning, and then it gets to the afternoon, and you're like, oh, it's been a long day. I don't really feel like it. I'm tired. I'm just going to go ahead and skip tonight. Then you have to go back and say, you already planned to do this. Do it. And when you're done, you're going to feel pretty darn good about yourself. And you're like, yeah, I wasn't even going to, and I actually worked out harder than I was anticipated.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I usually have my best workouts, or I come out feeling better anyway when I go in when I don't want to go in. When I'm making the excuse, any excuse I can come up with to procrastinate or not go in, once I do it, it's just like you said, man, I usually come out feeling, like it's one of the best workouts that I've had.
Yeah, like you really accomplished something.
Yeah. I overcame an obstacle, and I accomplished something. Well, very good. We overcame a huge obstacle in that we came to the end of another show. So I know that's hard with me. I get my guest on here. We always start rambling and talking, and 1 hour turns into 2 hours, and this is probably going to be another one of those 2-hour shows. But hey, more entertainment for our listeners, right?
Yep.
So, guys, tell everybody once again where they can get in touch with you guys, the Student of the Gun.
You go to studentofthegunradio.com. That's our main site right now. It has all the radio stuff on it. You can contact us on there. You can go to Facebook, Twitter, any social media. You can find us on Roku. You can find us on Amazon Fire TV. You can find us on Apple TV. You can find us anywhere.
Literally. You can get the books on your website, on Amazon.
studentofthegungear.com. You can get everything there. You can go to amazon.com. Some of our products are on there. SOTGU.com is training. We've got a couple classes coming up, one in Michigan. So.
Right. And you can win the trivia question this week and get their book. Get Paul's new Faith and the Patriot, which it's a good read. I just started it. I'm like halfway through it. Looking forward to finishing that one up and looking for that manual that's coming out from you on the
I'll get to work on that.
Patriot Fire Team. Yeah, I bet you are. And your fiction that you're going to work on. That new first time fiction book.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And a big thanks to our sponsors at ICE Training, ICEtraining.us. ICE stands for Integrity, Consistency, and Efficiency, the hallmarks of the programs, courses, and services provided by the company. ICE Training is a full-service company offering training to armed professionals and those interested in self-defense. ICE is owned and operated by Rob Pincus, the developer of the Combat Focused Shooting Program and the Professional Defense Video DVD series. ICE offers training in firearms, tactics, and unarmed defense, as well as consulting services for range operations, instructor development, and training program management. ICEtraining.us. Leadheads, as always, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer.
And be a student for life.
With Student of the Gun.